What's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome back to once again another episode of the 2016 NFL season predictions. How is everyone doing today? I am doing fantastic. I'm doing a lot better than last week. We're gonna have a better video this time. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing quite fine. This has been a kind of interesting start to the season. We are now a quarter pull into this season, and we have two teams that still haven't played their fourth game, but the other 30 have, and it's really crazy to think where teams are. Not so much who's at the bottom, well, I guess kind of, but more so for who's on the top. Three teams that I personally did not expect to have as great of a start as they've had are undefeated. And it throws a lot of things out of proportion for sure. But I have a few apologies to give, and that is our kickoff topic. I have some apologizing to do to a few teams, and I have a little wagging of the finger as well. Apology to fan bases, I guess, in that case. But we're going to start off with the Atlanta Falcons. And I'd like to apologize to the Falcons team, and the Falcons fan base for not believing in this team at all. I did not think that this team could be as successful as it has been. But this offense has been fantastic. A dual threat running back. Julio Jones is always amazing. Matt Ryan has proven that he's a great MVP candidate right out of the gate. I never really had faith in Matt Ryan. And now he is. He's playing so great. And I would like to apologize for that. I think that is that's been wrong of me to judge this team so much, and now they're looking like the best team in the NFC South, which right now they are. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this team can keep it up, though, because they started out 5-0 last year and finished 8-8. They had a run where it was like, I believe it was 6 straight losses. I hope that doesn't happen to them again, but you know, you had it last year where you had the Falcons start out so great and end poorly, but then you also have the Chiefs who started out so poorly and finished with a bang. So, you never know what's going to happen. But as of right now, and the way that they've been playing, and hopefully they keep on playing this way, I apologize. I was wrong about this team. Another team that I was wrong about, the Buffalo Bills, a team that I've talked about saying that I do love very much. But a team that I did not have that very high of expectations for. And yes, they haven't really done amazing out of the gate. Like, sure, they blew out the Cardinals, and they held the Patriots to a shutout. Like, that's great and all. But I was still not really on board with them. But, you know, like, I was still not on board with them making the playoffs, and I'm still not. But, over the past 24 or 48 hours, I did think about it. I was like, you know, you did beat the Cardinals and the Patriots. Like, you did. That's true. You did beat them. And it's a bigger deal that you beat the Cardinals over the Patriots, because the Patriots have been without their best quarterback. Their best player, even. But, the fact that the Bills have gone undefeated since firing their offensive coordinator, which I thought was so dumb of them to do at first. Now it's kind of starting to make sense, because now this offense is flying. They were kind of held up by the defense on Sunday's game, but it was still a great game by them, and it showed that this team has the ability to compete even against pretty good defenses. So, man, I'm so excited for the Bills right now that they are on this 2-game streak, and now they have to face the Rams, which is now a very intriguing matchup. We'll get to that later. But, you know, I didn't have faith in them even after they beat the Patriots, but after thinking about it, I want to give them kudos, especially after everything they've gone through already during the season. I salute you. So, one last team that I need to apologize to. The Patriots. Now, I do want to say this. I am not apologizing for my comments about the fact that Bill Belichick. I would want Bill Belichick over Brady on a team. If I had to choose pick between one of them, I couldn't have both. I'd pick Belichick because I think Belichick is the best coach of all time. And I think that he has the ability to put any player in and be able to win games. Now, what happened on Sunday, that's the exception to it sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but it doesn't work out for a lot of people like that, you know? But I do think that Bill Belichick is one of the best head coaches to ever grace the game of football. And as for Brady, I do want to apologize to Brady and anyone that has defended Brady, because I did make comments saying that, you know, maybe his career is not as amazing as we thought, considering that, you know, Bill Belichick still wins with these quarterbacks, all these different quarterbacks under center. I do think I said it when I said it at the time. I do think that Brady's an amazing quarterback, and I do think that he's one of the best of all time. But I do think that I did think that his role in the offense might have been kind of skewed into thinking that it's been all him all along, where it could have been everyone else at the same time. But that is wrong for me to say, and I think that I want to apologize for that. Brady's amazing, Belichick's amazing, they're all amazing. It's always like that in New England, and I'm sure that they're all happy that they're 3-1 and getting Brady back this week. We'll talk again more about that later. But two more teams that I would like to apologize to, and kind of wag my finger at: Panthers and Cardinals. You two I had so much high expectation for you, and there was no reason for you guys to be playing the way you've been playing. There's no reason for it. We expected you guys, many of us expected you guys, to come out with your high-flying offenses and your suffocating defenses. Something that got you to the NFC Championship last year. I mean, maybe not the Cardinals suffocating, but still, the fact that you guys are now sitting there at 1-3, and one of you is in third place, and one of you is in fourth place in your division, like, that sucks. That sucks. I'm sad. I'm not saying that they can't come back from this. I'm sure they can. I'm sure both of them can. But if they can't, I don't know, man. That's gonna really change the NFC. You know, like, you might still have your Packers and your Seahawks those guys were the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. But these guys were the face of the NFC last year. They were the two best teams in the league, and they represented the NFC. It would have been shocking if neither of them made it to the championship. And they did. They both did. And I think they might both be hungover from the runs that they had, and then having devastating losses in the playoffs. But other than that, there's really no excuse. They gotta play better. They have to play better. So my apologies really I apologize for hyping these two teams up, because they have so far let me down. So I apologize for that. But those are my apologies. And I want to ask you, is there anything that you're regretting thinking or saying during the preseason? Is there anything that you thought, wait a minute, yes, I'm totally right about this, and now you're kind of like, maybe I should take that back? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, yes, it is only 4 weeks into the season, but, you know, it's good to apologize for your sins now. But yeah, anyways, and hey, you know what? Maybe you say in the preseason it doesn't look like it's gonna happen, and then it does happen. That has happened too, but just right now, maybe just think about if you're right about everything that you said in the preseason, and let me know in the comments below if you regret it. So let's move on. Before we get to our picks, let's move on to the bye week, and let's summarize these guys' seasons thus far. We'll start in the top left, the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was another team I actually wanted to put into my apology thing. I hyped these guys up so much, and they have let me down big time. Now, of course, it is worth noting that they did win in London, but it was kind of a slugfest. It was not a great game. It was not. I wanted to see if this could be, the awakening of the Jaguars, and they could blow out the Colts like they did last year, like a 50-point game. But that didn't happen. It was more competitive than usual, and I don't think the Colts are that amazing of a team as many people may think. Regardless if Luck is quarterbacking it, clearly that has not been working out. So, I think that this team, they're on their bye, and they usually do well after byes. I think that they're going to start building momentum because they have to. They have to build momentum because otherwise they're going to fall behind. They're already 2 games behind the Texans. They need to start catching up now while the Colts are the way they are, and they already beat them once. They're already 1-0 in the division. Need to beat the Titans because they've been having some struggles as well. And you need to beat the Texans without J.J. Watt. I know I've been an arguer of this. I don't think that losing J.J. Watt is the end of the world for the Texans because I do think they have a lot of other great players. But they need to take advantage of them losing a phenomenal franchise player. So I'm rooting for the Jaguars to win the AFC South still. I'm hoping they can do it. But it's going to be tough here on out. But we'll see what happens. They got by. They can relax this week. We'll see what happens. Chiefs, meanwhile, won in a comeback victory, week 1. Then lost the next game. Who did they play? Fuck. I'm already forgetting. That just shows where my memory is. Did they play it? No, they haven't played an NFC team, right? Who did they play? Goddamn. I'm solely blanking right now. Hold on. I'm looking it up. Oh, Texans. Duh. Texans. Barely lost that game. It was a close game, I'm pretty sure. Jets completely demolished the Jets in a very turnover-worthy performance. And then they got blown out by the Steelers. So it's been an up-and-down season, I would say, for the Chiefs. Win-loss, win-loss. So now they have this bye. They have to work things out now. Can they stay consistent? Can they stay consistently winning? Because like I said, they could not stop anyone on Sunday. They could not get the running game going. The amount of times that Ware and Charles were suffocated, it was ridiculous. I mean, Ware ended up still running for like 87, 89 yards. Like all right, that's all right, but that's still, he couldn't get into the end zone. It was tough. I apologize for the dog barking in the background. So the Chiefs, absolutely, they need to stay consistent. They need to get out of this bye in good spirits. All right, let's move on to the Saints. So the Saints are 1-3. They came back and won over the Chargers, and that has to be a decent feeling for the Saints to finally get their win in San Diego, where Drew Brees' career was born. That has to feel good, but they still gave up like 34 points. That's not good. They need to get something going on defense. It's been the same story for a while. They need to get something going there. Offensively, they're still pretty good. You can't go wrong with him at quarterback with Breeze, but defense is really where they need to focus in this bye week, if they can even focus on it. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. But good win, good comeback win. Should not be that close. You gotta just blow those teams out of the water. But it happens. You gotta play competitive at times. This team was 0-3, so I guess beating the Chargers was an upset. I didn't think so, but many people disagreed with me on that sense. But hey, the Saints won, and that was a correct prediction for me, so I'm happy about that. Seahawks, excuse me, in the meantime, have definitely dominated to this point. Had a rough game against the Rams, but completely destroyed the Niners in week 3. And then against the Jets, they had a great performance, even though Russell Wilson was injured and was still playing. He had an amazing game, and he torched the Jets. So, I mean, you have to keep your head up for this team. And hey, the Rams-Seahawks rivalry is looking better and better as the season goes along, because now this team's 3-1, and so is the Rams at 3-1. These guys might be the 2 teams of the NFC West, which is really disappointing, because you thought the Cardinals would be involved at this point, but right now it's been all Seahawks Rams. So I don't know. Hopefully the Cardinals can come back, but right now it's those are the 2 teams that have been dominating. So now they get a break, even though the momentum's on their favor, in their favor right now. They have to take a break now. But they're going to come back, and I'm sure they're going to come back swinging. This team, this team, you can never go wrong with the Seahawks. They've always been a dominant team. And I'm kind of mad that preseason I didn't say that these guys were guaranteed to the playoffs, because right now I would say they're guaranteed for the playoffs. Unless something tragic happens, which I'm hoping that does not happen for this team. So, all right. So those are all your bye teams. You don't have to worry about them for week 5. They are not going to get any wins or losses. They get to sleep, relax on this luxurious Photoshop beach, and then you'll be able to, they'll be able to play next week. And hopefully they'll continue dominating or finally getting to win some games. So we'll see what happens. Depends on who you're talking about. Alright, so let's get into our picks for this week. Last week, we did pretty okay. Let's see what happened. So I'm going to pick the Bengals. I'm going to take the Colts in this instance. I think the Texans are the better overall team, so we'll take that. We're going to go with the Redskins. Seahawks win. Patriots are just insane. They're able to win any game with anyone. They're going to win this game. I predict the quote-unquote upset Panthers. I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. I'm going to take the Lions. There's no way I could pick against the Broncos right now. Cardinals win. You know what? I'm going to go with the Saints. The Cowboys win. Steelers win. I'm going to still go with the Vikings. 38-25 is your current record here. Not a terrible start. Pretty good. I'm down by 13. Or not down by 13. I'm up by 13 when talking about my wins and losses. So I've been doing pretty alright. I got better in predicting the later hours. A little bit. Sometimes I'm still screwing up. But I feel like I did pretty well this week. At 10-5, it was 10-5 that I ended up doing. So that's pretty good. Only having 5 losses, that's the best performance that I've had so far this season. So now let's see if we can really pile on the victories. Let's start out with Thursday Night Football. Cardinals against the Niners. Cardinals, like I said earlier, coming off a bad loss to the Rams. Close one, but they lost to the Rams. And Carson Palmer with a concussion might not even play in this game for all we know. I'm recording this as of right now. I just know that he's still in the concussion protocol. That might change by the time this video goes out. But if, God forbid, the Cardinals can't have him playing and Drew Stanton comes in, this might be tough. But on the other hand, you have the Niners, who just lost their best defensive player, Navarro Bowman. That sucks. And they lost him for the season. I mean, Carson Palmer's going to hopefully come back soon, but Navarro Bowman might be out. Or is out, rather, for the rest of the season. So that's pretty permanent. And that sucks, ultimately. It sucks either way. But for me right now, and this is just going with my gut, what I've always gone with, I just feel like the Cardinals, no matter who's at quarterback, I think that this is the better built team compared to the Niners. The Niners may pull it out. I mean, they almost did. Cardinals got their first win in a long time in Levi's Stadium, or at the Niners' home. So, you never know, that might come back, and the Niners might be able to blow the Cardinals out of the water during this game. It would really blow that they go to 1-4 on the year already. But regardless of all that, I am taking the Cardinals. It's not a confident pick, but that's what I'm going with right now. I don't ever have confidence in the Niners and if they can pull out the victory. I don't think I've even picked them yet to win a game this year. So who knows? Let's move on to the first Sunday afternoon matchup, and it's one that we've been waiting for quite some time. The Patriots at the Browns. I gotta say, I've been waiting so long for Deflategate to finally be over. With that announcement on Sunday night, or I believe it was Sunday night, when they announced that they were no longer going to be pursuing any more lawsuits or anything like that, any more, extra appeal or anything like that, and they're officially ending Deflategate. The feeling of relief and joy came over my body because I was so sick and tired of that fucking Deflategate storyline to be shoved down our fucking ear holes, and it was so annoying, and I hate it. I thought the whole thing was like a witch hunt. It was bad. It sucked. It was just a sucky process. And I'm not. If you watch since the beginning of this season, I'm not a Patriots fan, but that's one thing that I'm so sick and tired of talking about. I just want the games to be played, and I want Tom Brady to come on the field because he's fun to watch, even though I root against him a lot. I mean, having Tom Brady in that lineup again is going to be big for them. And the fact that they're 3-1, they only lost one game, and it was this past Sunday. Hopefully, they can still they can come together and they can dominate. And I'll tell you what, I want someone out there, someone to have the balls to pick the Browns for this game against the Patriots. I'm just saying, because if someone did that, that would be, and they ended up winning it. That has to be like a massive jackpot. If you bet on it in Las Vegas, you put a bunch of money down saying the Browns will beat the Patriots on Sunday. That has to be like a ton of payoff if they actually end up doing so. But you have to be living in an alternate reality to think that. With that being said, if that happens, I'm going to lose my shit. But I'm picking the Patriots to dominate the Browns and return to the glory that is the New England Patriots, and they will be a force to be reckoned with this year, especially with a phenomenal defense that has been really doing well for them. And if, God forbid, something bad happens to Brady, they have capable backups. All right. Eagles at Lions. This is a rematch of a blowout victory by the Lions. Was it? Yeah, Lions. Actually, you know what? It might have been the Eagles. No. It was the Lions because the Lions were kicking ass in the second half. So the Lions completely dominated the Eagles last year on Thanksgiving. It was the most boring Thanksgiving because of how dominant, the Eagles, the Lions were. But this time it's going to be a lot more closer. Because the Lions team they're not really going to potential. They won their first game and they lost the last three. The Eagles are 3-0, coming off of being relaxing. Their momentum might be kind of hurt by the fact that they had to bye. I don't think that's going to happen. Carson Wentz has been playing great. The defense has been playing great. This is just a better team overall than the Lions. The Eagles will get the victory over them. All right, Bears against the Colts. So this is like the third time that the Bears and Colts are meeting after their 2006 Super Bowl. And things obviously have changed a lot since then. I don't think there's not a single person on this Bears team that remains from that 2006 team. And the Colts, I think it's the same. I think. Was Mathis around back then? I don't think so. Let me look that up while I'm talking. But yeah, I think that I was kind of surprised to see the Colts not taking advantage of the Jaguars a little bit, because I know that's kind of contradictory to what I said earlier, but hear me out. And yes, Robert Mathis has been on that team forever, so yeah, just keeping that in mind. I'm a new football fan, so don't judge me. The Colts, to me, it was either that the Jaguars were going to dominate or the Colts were going to dominate. I was shocked on both ends how close it was and how garbagey it was. And it basically told me that the Colts are just not a good team. They're not a good team. And that has to suck as a Colts fan, because this team was a game away from the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They had like a really weird up and down year last year. And now you're looking at Andrew Luck back and trying to play to his best of his ability, but the rest of the people around him sucking ass. And that has to be really disheartening to this franchise and to this team, because this was supposed to be a contender. I know a lot of people were talking about it. People were kind of not really discussing the Colts because of, the lackluster year last year. But in the back of everyone's mind, you kind of thought, well, maybe with Luck back, they might return to their dominance of the AFC South. But now that's not happened. They're now 0-1 in the South. Jaguars beat their ass. I mean, I do not know what this team is doing, what their identity is supposed to be other than luck. And then ironic that they're the horseshoe. But I know that joke has been told so many times. I apologize. But still, I don't know what the future holds for the Colts, or for Chuck Pagano and Ryan Grigson, whatever he was called, named the general manager. Because it amazes me how this team was so close and they have just been completely bombing. Not performing that well in any of the games that they played thus far this year, except for maybe week 1 where Andrew Luck had a great game passing, but that's really it. The Bears, in the meantime, kind of equally, if not worse, garbage, but we kind of knew that already. But keep this in mind. Brian Hoyer has already been playing much better than Jay Cutler has. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, compared to 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions from Cutler. That to me screams that Cutler should be benched, Hoyer should play from now on, and Cutler needs to get the fuck out of Chicago. It's been like that for so long, and I go Cubs. A good friend of mine has been, you guys know him, has been saying this entire time how much he hates Jay Cutler and thinks he's like the root of all evil when it comes, not really, but just the worst player on that team. And the fact that, and then like last year it was like, oh, give him more credit, he's playing pretty good. No, he's not playing well. Bench him, keep Hoyer in. Hoyer is not that great of a quarterback either, but he's playing better than Cutler. Whatever. I just think the Bears team is trash, and so is the Colts, but I think the Colts are the better team between the two of them, so the Colts will win. That was a lot of time spent on those two. I apologize, but I had to get that out. I don't think either of these teams are good. Will I regret saying that at some point? Absolutely. That happens with football, with a lot of different situations. It's like getting a tattoo of saying that your team's going to win the Super Bowl, and then your team loses like the game before. Yeah, I'm looking at you, that Patriots fan, that did that last year. Oh, man. And they did that this past. Someone else did it for this year already. I forget for which team, but they're no matter what, they're just dumbasses. All right, Titans, Dolphins. Not really the most inspiring matchup. Um, at first this Dolphins defense was supposed to be one of the more suffocating ones in the league, but they kind of haven't really reached that potential. The offense is just abysmal. There's some bright spots here and there, but it's just not been doing that well. So to me, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Dolphins. Titans, in the meantime, I had a little bit of faith coming into the season that maybe the Titans would do well. Not well enough to make the playoffs, but do well. And, they've kind of fallen off, too. They had like a really close game against the Lions, but then they lost to a close game against the Texans, to be fair. But they lost that game. They lost the first game of the season against the Vikings. It's not really the best. They're not really in the best situation right now. But, in between the two of them, though, right now, I would say that the Titans are the better team between the two of them. My instinct says go with the home team because that's usually where it should be at, where you're where the winner usually win. The home team, if their teams are equal, the home team usually wins. That's kind of like the mantra that people use, but I feel confident enough to say the Titans will win this game. So, yeah, Dolphins blew them out last year, but it's tough to watch the Miami right now. All right, Redskins at the Ravens, the Battle of Baltimore. Or Maryland, rather. Battle of Maryland. So, this Redskins team has come back now. 2-game winning streak. It's been playing pretty well. I mean, I don't know. They faced the Browns. They faced the Browns last week. And it kind of was close. And then they had that weird fumble that happened that the Browns clearly recovered, and then the Redskins got... I don't know what happened last week, but they've been playing pretty okay. And they did demolish the Giants, but with that last minute Sway Cravens, whatever the fuck his name is, really good interception at the end of that game. But you go against this Ravens team that I think we saw two great teams play on Sunday between the Raiders and the Ravens. I do think the Ravens are great on offense still. There's some things that they still need to get going. But their running game has gotten a lot better though. They obviously there's so many weapons for them, and they should be performing well. And the defense has always been playing pretty all right. They probably should get to like really elite level, but not the way that the Broncos and Vikings are playing. But they need to get even better than what they have been doing. But I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I just think they're the better overall team. So they win, and we move on to this game: Texans against the Vikings, which I'm looking very much forward to. Combined, they are 7-1. That's pretty cool to look at these two teams and say that they're combined 7-1. The Vikings are incredible. They are incredible. And I'm not saying the Texans aren't a good team, because they are a great team, and I think that they came back from the bad loss against the Patriots and beat the Titans, and I think this can be a competitive game against the Vikings. But this Vikings team is borderline unstoppable. If they get... They are able to still run the ball with McKinnon, and Sam Bradford is still playing pretty well at quarterback, and the defense has been suffocating. I don't know. I'm really wanting the Vikings to win this, and I want the Eagles to win the next two games, because I want to see an undefeated battle between the Vikings and the Eagles. What a fucking amazing matchup that could be. That could be amazing and so much fun. So because of that, and just because I think, the Vikings have just been so dominant as of late, I will pick the Vikings to win. But Texans, don't worry if you fall 3-2. That team's still playing pretty well, but watch out for the Jaguars. They're coming, baby. Just saying. Oh wait, we still got one more 1:00 game. We got the Jets against the Steelers. I don't even want to talk too long about this one. The Jets have been terrible. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been terrible. I don't really know what to do at quarterback. I know people have been saying, "Oh, bench him," but at the same time, you're like, "Well, they played two really good defenses," but he's also been making stupid decisions, so I don't fucking know what to think. I don't know about the Jets. The Steelers, they proved that they're one of the best teams in the NFL this past Sunday. I'm picking the Steelers. All right, Panthers, Jesus. Falcons at the Broncos. I don't know why I said Panthers. So the Falcons, like I said, I've already kind of gone into it about the Falcons. High-powered offense. Their defense is showing some light, too. The Broncos, in the meantime, another team that has surprised me out of the gate in the sense that not so much, obviously, their defense, but their offense is playing better than last year. And that's really all they need to get going at this rate, The question will be if this defense can contain Matt Ryan and stop the Falcons' offense. And, I would laugh at this a year, like if it was December, and I would have been like, ha, yeah, they'll be able to stop them. But I'm not so sure this time. It might be close, but never pick against the Broncos defense. I've decided it's tough. They're a tough group, and you know what? We know what happens when a really good offense goes against a really good defense. Defense wins. Broncos will win. All right, Bengals, Cowboys, an AP top 12, top 10 or top 11. What were they? Are they number 11 and 12 actually? Top 12 matchup. If anyone pays attention to the Pro 32 poll from AP, because that's why I followed for power rankings, they're number 11, 12. So they're right there. Almost getting to the top 10. Whatever. I don't care. My tiredness is starting to come in right now. I'm doing this. So Bengals got the job done against the Dolphins. Now they play a Cowboys team that has gotten off on the right foot on both sides of the ball. They've been playing pretty good on defense, too. And now they have the return to Marcus Lawrence. So now, to me, this is a tough game to pick. Because I think this could go either way. But for me, there's a good chance Tyler Eifert will play this Sunday. And they still have A.J. Green, who's had a phenomenal start to the season. I gotta go with the Bengals. I have to go with the Bengals on this one. No offense to the Cowboys, and I'm sure that they can end up beating the Bengals. But, my God, I think the Bengals, they're going to get back to their ways next week. Hopefully. We'll see. All right, Bills, Rams. This matchup is so fucking intriguing now. One team's on a 3-game winning streak. One team's on a 2-game winning streak. One of those streaks will end this Sunday. This is gonna be a really interesting game. It's one of those things that you have to pick between offense or defense. A really prolific Bills offense in the past few weeks. The Rams defense has been playing really well in the past few weeks. The way I did this, though, was that their offense on the Rams side is still not that great. The defense for the Bills, they're going to get Marcel Darius back, and that's going to be suffocating for the Rams, potentially. So, to me, I don't think this Rams defense is at Broncos level where no matter what's happening on offense, they're good. The Rams will no matter what win against any team. I'm going to go with the Bills on this one. I'm actually going to go with the Bills. And we're going to see what happens. I know I'm picking the road team, but this team I think is great on both sides of the ball, at least according to the last few weeks. So we'll see what happens. It's fun stuff. All right, Chargers, Raiders, AFC West rivalry. Not a lot of divisional matchups this week. At least I thought. This is I believe this is the first one since the Cardinals 49ers. Not a lot of division implications this week, but this is a really interesting matchup because now you have a 1-3 Chargers against a 3-1 Raiders. Why is this interesting though? Because of the fact that I believe the Raiders swept last year, if I recall. Raiders swept, but the Chargers have been playing pretty alright in the offensive area, and the Raiders defense has not been absolutely great. They have not really been amazing. I mean, they did okay last week, but not amazing. So can the Raiders contain Phillip Rivers and that offense? I'm going to say they will. And I do think the Raiders are going to be dominating on offense like they usually are. And I think they're going to step out on defense for once and really get the job done against the Chargers. I say the Raiders come out with the victory. All right. Sunday Night Football, the Giants take on the Packers. And after just an abysmal night for the Giants, it wouldn't be as bad as I'm describing it if it wasn't for one guy, Odell Beckham Jr. And again, I don't know what to think about the whole thing, but to me, I think that you could argue all you want about how he is, it's just him getting into the game. He's just passionate. You just leave him alone. But there comes a point where it's just obnoxious. It's so frustratingly obnoxious for him to constantly be swinging at guys or going after guys and just acting like a diva all the time. It doesn't work out. It's stupid at the end of the day. It's really fucking dumb. And I said it on Twitter, and I don't regret saying it. If I was Ben McAdoo, and he fesses up again against the Packers, and he's just being an absolute bitch, I will toss him out. I would toss him out. I would be like, get your fucking ass in the locker room, because you can't control your anger. I'd send him to anger management. I don't care. It's at that point you have to care about the human being, because clearly his emotions are getting the best of him. And I'll just go ahead and say it. I don't think he's cut for the NFL if he's going to act like that constantly. He is not cut for the publicity of the NFL, for people constantly bombarding you with questions, and you can't handle the smack talk that happens either, and the really good players that you're going to have to face. You're not prepared to be at this level. You need anger management, and you need to talk to someone, because it's not working out. And then you say comments like, "Oh, I'm not having fun anymore." Then stop playing football. Stop playing it. If you're not liking it, don't do it. That's my motto. I mean, yes, there's some things that you're required to do in life, but if you chose to play this game, if you're not having fun anymore, do something else. That's just my view. And no disrespect to his talent, and no disrespect to him. I want him, as a Giants fan, I want him to be one of the best wide receivers to ever play this game. But before he can do that, he has to get his temper in order, because it is frustrating. It is so fucking frustrating to see that constantly happen. I'm trying to remember, in recent past few years, if that's happened with another athlete where their emotions get the best of them, but I can't really think of one. But I just think it's ridiculous. Yeah, you have to get your act in order. But anyways, enough of that. Packers, they've played pretty well to this point. Their only loss was against a really good Vikings team. Their offense had such a great game against the Lions a few weeks ago, and their defense started to give up the game near the end, but they still pulled it out. I'm going to go with the Packers. I just think better team overall. Buccaneers, Panthers, good matchup for Monday Night Football. I'm happy. I'm glad to see the Buccaneers on something other than Thursday Night Football. Like it's good to see them getting some love. Of course it's just because they faced the Panthers, but two quarterbacks that have disappointed so far this year, but two good quarterbacks nonetheless. And this really is an intriguing matchup because if the Panthers fall to 1-4, I mean that's ridiculous. If the Buccaneers fall to 1-4, I wouldn't be as surprised. But if they could get to 2-3 and beat the Panthers, which I mean I don't think they did last year, that would be fantastic. That'd be so great for them. They didn't because the Panthers were 15-1. The Buccaneers could absolutely they could take advantage of the Panthers being down right now. And it'd be interesting if they did that, but I can't pick I can't pick against the Panthers because they just this has to be a dream that after such a great season they're starting out 1-3. They need to win this game. It's so important, especially another division game. You've already lost one. You need to win. You need to win one to have a tied division record. You can't fall behind 0-2. So Panthers will win this one. Alright, and that is the end of the predictions. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you have any things that you regret saying in the preseason, and if by a chance you want to put down your picks for the games, let me know. I'm always open ears. And one last thing. I do want to thank anyone that's checked out my channel in the past few weeks. I've noticed a kind of growth in activity. Not so much in subscribers, but just I've seen a lot more people comment and like and view my videos. So whoever's doing that, whoever's on top of that, thank you very much. Ironically, the last video that I made of the predictions was not at all my best. And it got 30 views in the first 2 days. And that might not be a lot in terms of how other YouTubers do, but to me that's a lot. I barely get 30 views on videos that I posted 6 months ago, so that's a big deal to me. So I thank you very much. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.